how to deal with challenging employees. I'm really excited for today's episode because every salon owner has one, or had one, or is currently avoiding one. A challenging employee, a challenging team member, stylist, artist, whatever you want to call it, someone inside your space, does not matter the setup. All right. So having a challenging employee, and I'm holding up my hands right now with quotations, it might mean that they don't listen. They're defensive. They may not show up to team meetings or one-on-ones, and it kind of pisses you off. They're inconsistent. They may even make you feel like your salon is never good enough. Can you relate? They gossip. They do not value continued education. They push back on your feedback. They drain your energy. And they're talented, but slightly toxic or very toxic. All right. When you first opened your salon, you might have thought that leadership was hiring cool and fun people. I'm going to hire a lot of really cool stylists. Training your team, celebrating all the wins, like the fun salon, posting team photos, right? I mean, that's what I would love to envision owning a salon. And there are moments of that, but somewhere along the road, you realize that leadership is actually having really hard and difficult conversations. That's what makes you a great leader. It's actually having to be okay with people not liking you. Setting boundaries that not everyone is going to understand. Documentation and systems and policies and the not so fun stuff. Emotional regulation, and shall I say therapy, and not reacting ever and holding it all together when sometimes you just want to freaking scream. Can you guys relate? Is sometimes being a salon owner and having team members makes you want to do all of these things. All right. So if you do have a challenging team member or stylist, I want to ask you to ask yourself this. Ask yourself this right now. Are they actually challenging, or are your expectations unclear? And I've been talking a lot about this recently on the podcast because I see this in a lot of your salons right now. Because many, many times we have not stated what we truly expect. And then we expect for our people to read our minds and just get it. And unfortunately, that's not how life works. And I'm guilty of this, of not setting clear expectations inside of my own company and expecting people to just get it. Why didn't she just get it? It's common sense. Come on, people. But that was a lack in my training, and that was a lack in my systems and processes inside of my own company. Okay. So we're going to break this down into 3 buckets for easy understanding. Okay. So they could fit into one of these 3 buckets. That's what we're going to say. First one is lack of clarity. So there might be a challenging employee because they lack clarity. There's no job description, no measurable standards, no goals, no non-negotiables, no consistent feedback or one-on-ones, no follow-through on your part, no handbook or systems in place. This is a lack in leadership structure, in your leadership structure. All right. And it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes because you're like, what can I do? Like, how do I get these things out of my head? And it's really difficult. I'm going to say it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it right now. It's not easy. The second bucket that this challenging employee could fall into is a skill deficiency. Okay. They don't know how to do something. Okay. They were never trained properly, and they might just be overwhelmed. Okay. And once again, if they fall into this bucket, this is a lack in your leadership and training structure. And this falls back on you, the owner. Okay? Because we have to teach them. It is our responsibility to teach our people. And it's a huge responsibility. Okay? The third bucket that they could fit into is a character issue. And a lot of times this is what you automatically assume and blame is it's just them. They're just gossipy. They're chronically like negative, just a negative person. They're disrespectful, entitlement, the refusal to grow. Like it's just on them as a human being and a person. They just suck. Can we just say that? Some people do just suck. This is where hiring the right people come into play. And this is where defining your core values and living and breathing them day in and day out becomes the norm. You create your culture by design or default. Which one do you want? Okay? Because I would rather design my culture than just take anyone and everyone, anyone with a heartbeat. Come on. You got a Cosmo license? Come on. That's what we used to do. It didn't work very well. It was a failed system. You create your culture. So if they are, let's say, a character issue, okay, and that's the bucket they fall into, all right, we have to be okay with letting go. And I'm going to get to this in just a second, okay? So I want to give you guys, I think this is going to be very practical. And if you guys want to take notes, jot this down. This is a framework. I'm going to give you guys my 5-step framework for how to handle and address difficult employees and team members. There's 5 steps. And I would follow this every single time you have to deal with someone difficult or have a difficult conversation. 5 things that you can do to make sure you are consistent in how you show up as a leader. So the very first step is we're going to regulate ourselves. Regulate yourself first. Okay? If you're an emotional salon owner or an emotional human being, you need to pause. I want you to remember the 24-hour rule and start adopting this. Go home, go to sleep. Okay? If it's still bothering you and it's still in your mind 24 hours later, then have a conversation. But in the moment, do not say a damn word. Keep your mouth shut. This is me and my entire life because I always have to go home and calm down because in the moment, I'm pretty pissed when something happens. Now, with time, being in a salon ownership position for many, many years, I have learned to not take things personally and let a lot of things go. But in the beginning, a lot of things really did piss me off. And I spit off a lot of things in the moment and I'd be like, blah, blah, blah. And like, it never led to great results, or let's just say the results that I wanted. I didn't get what I wanted. All right. Because when your emotional intelligence is low, so when emotions are high, intelligence is low. So go home, sleep on it. Remember the 24-hour rule. You're going to pause. You might go home and journal, and you're going to clarify facts versus feelings. What are the facts in this situation versus your feelings about the situation? Okay. Step 2 is we're going to document patterns. There are going to be some patterns in these challenging or difficult employees. All right. It's not just one bad day. And maybe they just do have a bad day. That's okay. It doesn't make them a difficult employee or team member. They might just be having a bad day. But if you start to see some patterns, we're going to write dates of when things are happening, specific behaviors that are going on inside these dates. And is it impacting the team or the guest? I'd be jotting all of that down. Document the patterns. This matters because you're documenting the facts and taking the emotions out of what is really happening. You're also doing your homework and you're coming prepared to the meeting. All right, which leads me to my next thing in just a minute. This also protects you legally and emotionally. And if you ever had to take something legally, which I have a couple times inside of salon ownership, you have documentation and you can't go back and be like, what was the day that she didn't come in? She was sick that day. She called in, she texted, like, write it all down. You just might have like a Google Doc, notes in your phone, whatever it is, to just jot down all the facts. Okay. Step number 3, you're going to have a direct conversation. This needs to be a private conversation. not on the salon floor. You are private with said team member. No texting, no DMing, no phone call, face to face. If you have to have a phone call for whatever reason, they're going to be out, you're going to be out 2 days, and then they're going to be out the following 3, and then like a week's too long and it goes by, you can do a phone call. But I would absolutely, under no circumstance, text anything that could be controversial, of importance, of any policies, of anything. The only thing that I would be texting a team member is, what are you eating for dinner tonight? What are you going to wear to the photo shoot? Blah, 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 blah. Nothing of importance to the salon company. I'm just saying, it will always end bad because you cannot tell tone in text message. If you say something, if she says something, if he says something, there's no tone behind reading a text message. Do not text important conversations. End of discussion. Now, when you have this conversation, I'm going to give you guys some sample verbiage. So let's just say that this stylist, her name's Katie, and let's say she's just talking about really inappropriate conversations on the floor. We've had this happen many times inside of my own salon. Let's say she's talking about like politics right now and she's going off about the Democratic Party, or she's talking about like birth control and rights and I don't know, just like very inappropriate stuff, okay? This is what I would say. Do you guys want to hear some sample verbiage of if I was going to approach this conversation? I would keep it lighthearted. I would have it private. I'd have her come into my office, the break room, when no one's there, like clear out the break room. If you don't have an office, if you have an office, of course, meet in your office, but it definitely needs to be private. Okay. So I would say, and you could write this down. You could read this. There's nothing wrong with jotting down notes and reading because sometimes like we can't always remember all these things and that's okay. All right. So I would say, hey, Katie, I wanted to take a moment to chat with you about something important regarding our salon environment. One of the things that makes our salon so special is that it's welcoming, professional, and a comfortable place for both our guest and our team. I've noticed, or it's been brought to my attention, that some of the conversations happening on the salon floor have touched on topics like whatever it is, politics, sex, religion, partying, gossip, whatever it is. While I know these conversations, while I know these discussions aren't meant to cause harm, they can make guests and coworkers feel uncomfortable. I want to remind you that our salon is a professional space and we need to be mindful in keeping the conversations light, inclusive, and client focused. That's a big one. Client focused. Okay. Our job is to create an amazing experience for every guest. And that means avoiding any sensitive or controversial topics. Going forward, please be aware of this and please keep conversations appropriate. If you want to talk about something personal or more sensitive, let's make sure it happens outside of work hours and in a private setting. Sound good? Stop talking. Leave it there. The sound good is getting their feedback and statement that they understand and they will make a change moving forward. Which leads me to step 4, creating a clear improvement plan. It doesn't have to be something where you're like, the plan is step 1, step 2. We're not talking about that. But when you say sound good, the ball's in their court now. Get the ball in their court because you want to hear what they have to say. Are they going to make a change, or are they going to blame and or not say anything or not give you approval that they're going to make a change? Or do they understand you or do they not understand you? Get that feedback from them. So we don't want to be vague and be like, do better, or just leave it like, okay, all right, bye. Like, no, we want to get them their statement. We want to get their approval, their plan. Okay. So for the next 30 days, let's say 14 days, 2 weeks, whatever it may be, and you could even have them state this. You could write it down if you wanted to. I will avoid controversial topics on the salon floor. I will show up 10 minutes early. I'm going to hit my social standards. I'm not going to negatively talk about other team members. And then check in with them. Maybe do a weekly check-in and be like, hey, can I check in with you the next couple of Fridays and see how you're doing? Or, hey, can we meet again in 30 days and let's just touch base? Keep it short and sweet. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but you're following up with them. And that's what a lot of people miss is they have the conversation one time and then it's never talked about again. I would follow up with them and just say, how's everything going? Let them talk. Just listen. A lot of your leadership should be listening. Okay. Step 4, when we're creating a clear improvement plan and we're talking about this is measurable because you're going to check in 14 days or 30 days and you have a next step and a check-in date. A lot of people miss this part. So do not miss step 4. And then step 5 is deciding. That leads us to if they fit in bucket number 3 and they are negative, gossiping, it's a character issue, they don't align with your core values, there's no ownership of what they've done, no growth, no effort to want to do better. Okay? You do not negotiate with misalignment. And you don't allow them to become toxic to the culture that you have worked so fucking hard to build and to design. So sometimes leadership means releasing, and we bless and release. Okay? Oftentimes the challenging employee is simply just a wrong fit. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't mean they're a bad stylist. They just don't fit within your culture anymore. And we got to be okay with that. We got to be okay with letting people go. I've kept people far too long inside my own business. I've made these mistakes over and over and over again. I should have let several people go way before shit hit the fan. Especially when people are talking shit about you as the owner. If that is happening inside your business, first, I want to say I'm sorry. This was not even in my show notes, but it's coming out because I'm emotional about this. How dare any one of your stylists and team members talk negatively about you because you're pouring so hard into your team? I would never, ever, knowing what I know now, to allow someone, if I heard anything through the grapevine, to talk negatively about the owner or anyone else in the building. It's an immediate termination. Like, no questions asked. You cannot work here. And that's creating those boundaries. Okay. Keeping someone that is a wrong fit, that doesn't align with your core values, it's lowering your standards. It confuses the hell out of your team. It's very confusing. It rewards dysfunction and it teaches others what's tolerated. If they can do it, then I can do it too. Okay. It's like one bad apple can take down the team. And you've probably seen those visuals of like oranges next to each other or apples, and there's like one rotten one, and then the ones around them are starting to become rotten too. It's because they will start to breed into your team. And it is one of the most toxic things I have ever seen. And then you're the villain and you're the bad person and they team up on you. How do I know? Because I've lived and breathed it. Always tie this back to your culture and your core values. You're not a bad leader because someone challenges you. And you are not meant, let's say you think I'm not meant to be a salon owner because someone challenges you. Someone's going to challenge you. I promise you, it's just a matter of time. You become a bad leader when you avoid hard conversations and let said challenging employee walk all over you and keep you up at night. We're not going to do that. No one ever said that being a salon leader was comfortable, because it's not. It's hella uncomfortable at times, and it's hella rewarding at the same time. And I want you to remember this: conversations do not have to be a confrontation. It's a conversation. That's all you're having with said employee. Talk to them. Listen, hear them out. Sometimes it's maybe something personally going on in their life. What's happening? What's going on? Get curious, ask questions, and listen. Get curious about what's going on in their mind. Okay? I hope you guys liked today's episode. I thought it was a good one. And I was like, oh, how do you deal with challenging employees? Because you're going to have one. We all have one, okay? Or 2 or 3. So I hope this helps. Remember the buckets. Where do they fall? Ask yourself those questions, okay? Are they actually challenging, or are your expectations unclear? What bucket do they fall in? And then follow our 5-step framework for how to handle this. Every single time, be consistent in this, you guys, okay? All right, little shorty episode today. I love you guys. I'll see you guys right here, same place, same time, Monday morning, 6 a.m. So much love to you guys. Mwah. Bye, guys.